When a man plants a fruit tree, that's his way of saying, I plan to be here. What up, y'all? My name is Rell, and this is Grow with Rell. I know it's been a while since I posted, but welcome back to the channel. I want to show y'all a few things I have in the garden that I haven't shown y'all in a while. So right here, this is my bumper crop satsuma. It's a mandarin orange. Grows pretty well in my area, zone 8A. However, even though it's very frost tolerant, one of the best frost tolerant oranges, it can freeze if it gets down, I think, below 10. So I keep it in a pot right here. It's a 26-inch pot. And basically, if we have any days in the wintertime where it gets super cold or we getting snow, I'm gonna just take it in the garage. But I'm super excited. I got about 20 to 25 pieces of fruit on this tree. I think it's gonna do good. I'm super excited. If you have never heard of this variety, Google it and you will see trees that are a little bigger than this with 50 pieces of fruit on it. I'm talking about weighing the limbs down. So I'm excited. Again, this is a bumper crop satsuma. It's a type of mandarin orange. This is gonna be my first year of my grapevine being established. You know, the first year you plant them. Second year, what you do is you establish the cordons. And the third year, you get grapes. So I'm super excited about the amount of grapes I'm going to get this year. And forgive me if it's not focusing in, but you guys have seen grapes before. I think this is a purple Concord, if I'm not mistaken. I got a few grapevines. I can't remember which one this is, but I believe it's a purple Concord. I do have a catawba as well, I'm gonna show y'all in a minute, that I messed up this year by trying to cover it during a late frost. This is a grapevine that I planted about a month ago. Got it from Walmart actually for half off, $5. I couldn't resist it. The variety is not coming to me right now. I do know what it is, but it's not coming to me during the filming of this video. However, it is a seedless variety. My plan is to have it grow straight up this trellis. These are some of my muscadines. Again, I don't know the variety. Bought it from someone on Facebook Marketplace last year, and it's growing well. Second year in the ground, so I'm excited to see exactly what it does. This is my catawba grape, the one I was telling y'all about earlier that I screwed up. So we had a late frost this year, and I had the idea to cover it with a bed sheet, as I've seen most of y'all do. It got down to about 34 degrees, which wasn't bad at all. But I guess the issue was when I put the sheet over it, the sheet was pretty much draped and touching all of the leaves. There were no fruit at the time. It was small, little pink, I don't know what you call it, but it was the leaf before it produces the fruit. When I came out the next morning, everything that I didn't cover was perfectly fine, but because the sheet was touching the leaves, they had frost on them. And I guess the frost and the cold transferred from the sheet to the leaves, and yeah, this is what I have. Some of them died immediately, some of them came and died later. I believe it was the late frost and how I chose to protect them. Good thing is, though, as we get to the middle of the vine, some of them are growing well, so I will get some grapes. And if I'm gonna keep it real with y'all, man, I actually got 2 clusters from this vine last year, and I wasn't impressed. They were seeded, and yeah, they kind of taste like muscadines, honestly. This is a catawba grape, and I'm not a fan of muscadines, even though I am growing them. I'm growing them because my mom and my relatives, they like them, and my kids kind of like them. I'm more of a seedless grape kind of person, so I wasn't really tripping that this vine isn't doing too well this year, if I'm being honest. These are my in-ground orange watermelons. I have 6 of these planted in ground. This spot right here may not look too exciting, but every year I've grown cantaloupe in this area right here. And I don't even eat cantaloupe, but my wife does. And they've grown so well, I haven't had to water them. No fertilization. I just put them in the ground, and literally, I had 2 vines last year, and I probably got 20 fruit from that cantaloupe, and it sucks because I don't eat cantaloupe. So what I just did, I put it in a smoothie. These are a few of my blueberry varieties, and excuse me because I do not know the variety this is. I know I have a Premier And I have a pink lemonade and another kind. The pink lemonade, honestly, is disappointing because it didn't even give me flowers this year. I got a ton of fruit last year and gave me no flowers at all this year. So obviously, no flowers, there'll be no fruit. I did research, and according to Google and Copilot and ChatGPT, pink lemonades are one of the most notorious blueberry varieties that will randomly not bloom. This is the pink lemonade I was telling you about. You see, it looks good green growth, but no flowers. Nothing worse than fertilizing, doing everything right, and you get nothing. Another blueberry bush. These are my sweet potatoes. I have never grown sweet potatoes. I'm not sure if I'm doing it right. This is the Beauregard variety. I think these are 20 to 25 pound bags. I believe I was supposed to pull these slips apart, and instead of doing 1, 2, 3, I probably could have got 6 slips, but I got them from Lowe's. It was in a 6L, so obviously it had these one-hole pieces inside of a cell, so I just put the cell in. So we're gonna see how it turns out. This is my black mission fig. I'm not sure if I need to cut some of these limbs down, but a late frost pretty much wiped it out. And then I had the dreaded ambrosia beetle, which, as y'all know, will kill the tree eventually if you don't cut out the infected limbs that the ambrosia beetle has laid his eggs into. If y'all don't know what ambrosia beetle are, they will pretty much lay eggs inside of your fig, and they will eat the fig from the inside out. And ultimately what ends up happening is your fig will slowly die. This right here is my prized possession when it comes to my figs. This is my Violette de Bordeaux. I believe I'm saying it correctly. I purchased it last year, threw it in the ground, and y'all see this cage around it. This cage was not around it in the wintertime. When I actually purchased it, it was a little bigger than what you see now. And what ended up happening is I don't come outside as much in the wintertime, but I came back here one day, like late January, and rabbits had chewed this tree down to the nub almost. I've kind of sort of cut most of it off, but as you can kind of see some of the, let me see, hopefully it zooms in and focuses in. That's the rabbit damage. But before, it was, this whole little area was full of growth when I purchased it. So I cut it back as much as I could. I let nature do its thing, and as you can see, it has fully come back. This is a popular variety because it grows 2 crops: a Breber crop, which I guess means later in the winter, the fall, and then obviously a summer crop. So hopefully I get some figs this year. This is my Pakistan mulberry. Also got it in the cage because it's low to the ground, and every now and then, you know, I have a gate around my property. I have this little low-lying area where water drains, and every now and then I'll see like a groundhog or a beaver or whatever it is in my backyard. So I'm just trying to protect it for now. Say Pakistan mulberry. This grows the 4-inch long mulberries. I heard it grows very fast. It's been in the ground about a month. Really no growth at all, but it hasn't died, so I guess we're making progress. This is my Korean giant Asian pear. When I purchased it, it's just a whip. As y'all can see, has a lot of growth. I'm excited to see what it's going to do in the future. I know I'm not going to get any fruit this year, probably not next year. But it is about 5 feet tall, so I'm excited. Back here, just a little spearmint. Man, this is where I keep some of my herbs. Again, I'm not even halfway through what I'm going to do with my space, but this is what you see right now. It's a little simple rack I bought off Facebook Marketplace. This is my Liberty apple. I'm excited about this tree. This tree should be disease resistant to fire blight. Fire blight is transferred to the tree through the blossoms from the bees. And most fruit trees that we buy from Walmart, Home Depot, and Lowe's, they are not resistant to fire blight. If you live anywhere in the country, fire blight will at some point attack your tree and will at some point kill your tree. You got to cut a lot of it back. So imagine a small tree getting affected. It's pretty much the whole tree. This variety, Liberty, and also Enterprise and Gold Rush, they're designed to pretty much resist fire blight. So I'm excited. I had a few apple trees that I had to pull up because they got fire blight. Even pear trees. So the Asian pear I showed you earlier is resistant to fire blight. I also have a moon glow pear I'm going to show you later that's resistant to fire blight. Most of us grow kefir pears, I think, and what's the other variety? I can't think of it right off the top of my head, but there's a kefir pear. Oh, Bartlett. Bartlett is also highly susceptible to fire blight. Everything I'm buying is disease resistant to my area. I'm not dealing with buying things and they die later because I didn't do the research at first. This is the very first Pakistan mulberry that I grew. Purchased it from California a little too early. Got it in late January and I decided to put it in the ground. Obviously the weather's totally different, so immediately you got cold and frost, I believe, killed the tree. I purchased another one, what I showed you earlier, because I didn't think this one was going to come back. Everybody says keep it watered, it will come back. I'm not sure. To be honest. I have done the scratch test a few times a couple weeks ago and it is still green, but I'm not sure it's going to come back. So I just spent another $60 and got another Pakistan mulberry. If this one does produce, I'll just turn around and sell it. These are more of those on sale fruit trees that I bought from Walmart for $5. The blackberry, guess it's doing okay. The raspberry is not doing too well. There was some green right here, but over time it died. So I'm gonna see. I'm keeping it watered. Put a little fertilizer in both of them. Got some good quality soil. So we're gonna see. We're gonna see what they're gonna do. Honestly, I'm not expecting too much this year. You establish the foundation. So I'll see how it goes. This is my contender peach tree. Just planted it, fairly small, maybe 3 feet tall. I sprayed all my fruit trees last week with copper and spinosad, just a little bit of copper, like less than half of the recommended dose. And I developed these red spots. I know some kind of fungal bacteria, but the tree seems to be still doing well, so I'm not too concerned. I do have a few peaches on here. Got a nice big one right there. I know people say when your tree's small, pick all the fruit, let it establish roots, but listen, nature does not need me to get in the way. That's how I feel. So if the tree produces fruit, I'm gonna let it produce fruit. If it drops them, it drops them, but I'm not gonna pick the fruit off. That's my opinion. If I'm wrong, please educate a brother. This is my Foyo persimmon. I think I'm saying it right. I planted this year as well, about a month and a half ago, and this is all I've seen, just green growth. I never even tasted a persimmon, but again, I want to make sure I got everything I can put in my yard. Like, I want to be able to come out here in 5 years and get what I want: grapes, apples, peaches, plums, pomegranates, pears, strawberries, whatever. That's my goal. But something funny happened about 30 minutes ago. So I came out to this tree and I just saw you see right here? I saw a limb growing inside. It was kind of touching this limb. So I was like, hey, early prune, let me go ahead and grab that limb and get it off. When I pulled it off, I looked at it and I noticed that I had small persimmons developing, or persimmon fruit flowers developing. Personally, I did not know what they looked like. I just saw a little knot. And I said, damn, did I just pull off a fruit? And yeah, there was 4 fruit on there. I was kicking myself for like 30 seconds. Then I looked around some more, and I realized there are more small persimmon fruit flowers developing. So see, there's one right there, there's one right there, one right there, and there's a bunch more here. But yeah, I was like, damn, how did I just pull off a random branch? Because I didn't want it to overlap, because I did not expect to get fruit this year. I know the guy I bought it from told me the tree was about 4 years old. And I looked it up, they start producing around 3 to 4 years old. So it's right on time. I wasn't thinking, man. I came outside and just grabbed the limb and picked it off, thinking I'm doing some just quick pruning, and boom. I'm not sure if y'all can see, but I just covered my strawberry bed up with row cover. And I have a few strawberries turning red. I heard that, this is my first time growing strawberries, and I heard that once the birds see red, they go for the kill. So I don't know if y'all can see it right there. Got one red one and then another one turning red. So I'm excited, man. This is a 3x6 raised bed. I'm excited to get some strawberries, have my own little strawberry patch, you know what I mean? These are some of the peppers that I planted. Little basil in the back, marigolds right here. This is a shishito pepper. I'm not sure if y'all are familiar with that, but I liken it to something like a bell pepper. It has that taste. They say 1 in 10 are spicy. I grew some last year, and I had about, and they do grow fast. They're very prolific. You just saute them. If you look up shishito peppers, they're pretty popular in Asian restaurants. You get sauteed with olive oil, a little salt, lemon pepper, and they are very delicious, but you have to enjoy peppers. Again, they're not spicy, so I say imagine really small, skinny bell peppers that are sauteed, and they are allowed to soak up whatever flavor you put in there. That's a shishito pepper. Then I have my normal, regular bell peppers. This is a pepperoncini, the kind of pepper you get in your Papa John's box. I've always been a fan of those. I'm going to try to pickle them myself this year and see how it goes. I didn't grow a lot of those because it's just me. So we'll see. This is my corn. I'm not sure how my corn is going to do. This is my 3rd year trying to grow corn in ground in a small space. I know people have grown it in raised beds. This is kind of sort of like a raised bed, but it's in ground, so a raised mound almost. An established raised mound. But my issue is the corn grows well. I get the tassels. I even try to hand pollinate, but I've never gotten good corn kernels that looks like they were edible. They're always super small, or they get up to size and they have worms and all kind of craziness. So typically I plant them in a more shadier spot, but this year I did research with my yard. I had sun meters, so I know the area they're planting now gets full sun about 8 to 9 hours a day. So I'm hoping I get a good crop of corn. Super excited. This is Sun Glow, 65 days. So we'll see. This is my garlic. I'll be honest with y'all. I planted this garlic in like September. I thought garlic was a winter crop, like collards and stuff like that. Like I'll be able to get it in January or something like that. Then I found out shortly after I planted it that garlic takes a long time to produce. I will probably never grow garlic again. I just don't have the ability to use up so much space for that long period of time. I mean, my space is a nice size, but it's not as big as some. So I don't have the time to have something grow for so long. And honestly, I don't even know what's going on under there. I don't know if I'm going to pick it and there's going to be no garlic or what I planted. So I am kind of excited to see. I have fertilized it. I have given it what it needed. Honestly, it looked like it's kind of dying back, which is what I heard happens when garlic is about to be ready. Actually, right here, I see these. I have no idea what they are. Somebody please tell me. Does this mean the garlic is ready soon? I'm not sure, but some of y'all expert gardeners, please let me know. My zucchini, I'm growing squash and zucchini. I know the vine borers will come out, but I'm gonna try a couple different methods this year to try to keep them at bay. And I'm just going succession plant, so I'm gonna have some ready for when these bite the dust. As y'all can see, I still got a lot of space where I haven't planted a thing yet. I purchased a ground cherry, something I've never grown before. So let's see how that does. Got some beans growing. I can't remember the variety. I know there are bush beans, there are string beans. So I have two different sizes. One of them are like a yellow green bean, and the other one is a standard green bean. These are the bush varieties, like I said. Okra is finally starting to come along. I know okra needs a lot of heat, and the weather this year has been stupid. It's been cold, hot, cool, hot. Nights have been cool, so I'm not even tripping about my okra being behind. I know it's coming. Plus, man, okra grows by the minute, if not the second. So I know once it starts producing, it's going to be crazy. And I still got okra in my freezer from last year that I grew that I haven't eaten yet. I still have a lot of green peppers that I chopped up and froze from last year, which is that's why we garden, right? We garden to have an abundance of what we like, so we can freeze and preserve. So, like I said, I'm not rushing anything this year. I'm not rushing the fruit trees to start producing fruit. I read a quote I thought was pretty deep. I think it's pretty deep. And it said that when a man plants a fruit tree, that's his way of saying, I plan to be here. I'm not going anywhere. I plan to be here. I'm not planting these things to get, well, my vegetables I am, but I'm not planting my fruit trees to get fruit this year. These are more of the fruit trees. This is my plum tree. I got a plum right there. I'm gonna tell y'all something, man. This is my Santa Rosa plum. While we're looking at the tree, I'm gonna tell y'all a quick story. I purchased this tree from Walmart about 4 years ago. Put it in the ground, and first year, obviously nothing. Second year, I didn't prune because I didn't know what pruning was. But I got about 100 pieces of fruit that year. My family was over here, was filling up Walmart bags, probably more than 100 pieces of fruit. I was like, damn, that's good. So much so where the tree started to lean, as you see. And so I staked it, get some support. I haven't had a successful harvest since that year. Now, that year I did nothing. I didn't fertilize, I didn't do anything. I was brand new to fruit trees, so I didn't even know that was things I needed to do. But I had so much fruit. After that year, I started overthinking. I started fertilizing, which is what everybody recommends. You know, nobody does not recommend that you don't fertilize. This year, I seem to have gotten fruit, and then the late frost, and some things have not been ideal. So I'm okay. I'm okay with this year. But I pruned it hard so I can get the vase shape, because at first it was going up, and it was just all out of control. But I got a bunch of fruits that was out of control. So I'm just trying to figure out what's the sweet spot. Like I said before, I got a ton of fruit that first year when I did, not the first year, the second year when I did nothing. It was unpruned. It was nuts. I got a bunch of fruit. I guess that year everything lined up. The weather must have been nice. I even look back that year with the weather, and there wasn't nothing that I could like point to that would have said, okay, that's why I had a good year. But yeah, I'm longing for that year. It's like, you know, I'm gonna use the old drug analogy. People say when someone does drugs that they're always chasing that first high. That year when I did nothing to this tree, I got an abundance of fruit, and it has not been the same since, and I'm upset, not gonna lie. This apple tree variety right here is called Aunt Rachel. So I told you earlier in the video that a lot of the fruit trees we buy are very susceptible to fire blight. So I searched high and low because I wanted to make sure that this would not happen. I had a fruit tree right here. I think it was a Fuji apple. I planted from Walmart. And no, it was a Red Delicious. And fire blight got it. And I tried for 2 years to try to get it to heal itself, and it just never did. So this one I pulled it up, searched high and low, and that Liberty I had to get from a nursery in California. But this right here is called an Aunt Rachel. It's a variety that was actually developed in my area in North Carolina, about 50 miles from my house, about 60 years ago. So, as you know, with apple trees, they all bloom at different times. That's also another level of it. So this right here is a scion from a Fuji apple that I put onto here. I grafted it about 2 months ago. As you can see, I got green tip. It's growing. Basically, this right here is going to produce flowers very early. It's going to bring the bees in. It's going to allow this tree to be pollinated on time. All right, just a little agriculture science, I guess is what it is. But yeah, my graft turned out great. My first time grafting anything, so I'm super excited about that. This is my peach tree. As y'all can see, like I said, I got a few peaches. Again, this year I'm not really tripping because we had a weird winter. I mean, it's May the 1st or 2nd right now, and it's 55 degrees. So there's no rhyme or no reason about how things have been off and awkward this year. But again, I do have a few peaches, but again, I've never gotten a huge harvest from this tree. Actually, I haven't gotten a successful harvest at all. Every year I get a lot of peaches and then they fall off and die. Last year they got about a golf ball size. They did turn the peach color, but the fruit wasn't good. This is a Hell's Haven, I want to say. Again, so I'm fertilizing, I'm doing everything I think is right. I'm excited to see what these fruit are going to do. I just want them to, if I get one successful fruit, I think I'm doing something right. This is my pride and joy. This is my red McIntosh apple. This is not fire blight resistant. I know it's not, but I do a good job of taking good care of the tree. I keep it pruned, and again, I have not been successful. I've gotten a good amount of apples on this tree, but every year, at some point, they get eaten by the wasp and the bees, and then they fall off and die. But again, I fertilized this year. This is, I might have 15 apples on this tree so far. So I'm excited to see what it does, and I just want to make progress. That'll like give me some hope. So I'll see. But again, this tree is pruned in a vase shape. I know apples like single leaders, but I pruned this tree when I didn't have much knowledge about pruning trees, and people say that this will work. This method will work. So I'm excited to see how things go. That's a little bit of my garden and my fruit orchard. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Don't forget to like, comment, and share, subscribe. Give me some pointers. Give me some feedback, because that's why I'm here. And that's why I do this, because I think as a community, we got to share what we know that others might not know. All right, so until next time, grow with me.